This is the Expired Podcast by Macy Bookout and Natalie Gard. This week's episode is on Zachary Davis. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. You can get early access to our podcast every Monday by following us on YouTube. Click that subscribe button, and you can get us wherever you download podcast.
Yellow.
Yep. Is that going to be your new thing? Yellow.
Yeah, but I will say it's not an original. I stole it from Rob Beardite on Fantasy Factory.
See, I still, anytime there's like an awkward silence or just a silence or we're waiting for something, I stole from Bailey Sarian, another true crime awkward silence.
Awkward. What is that? I don't know. I don't know where I learned
kids, so
no, I've known it since I was little.
Really?
Yeah, I have no idea where it came from. What do you say?
So I say, in Bailey Sarian's, she does makeup and murder. I love her. She goes, shana shana, shana shana, shana shana, shana. So I do that every time now because there's any kind of like pause that we need to make in like audio.
Yeah.
I know the wavelengths of shana shana, shana shana. I love it. So good.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That's so fun.
It is fun.
Man, I'll be honest. I'm not one to be like super, what do you call it when you're, see, I don't even know the word for it. When you like, affection. I'm like, don't touch me. Stay out of my hula hoop. Don't tell me that I'm pretty because that's awkward. You know, so, I don't like it.
Cringy.
I do not like the spotlight. Yeah. I do not like attention, oddly enough.
But I know,
working with you is so fun.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I mean, I hope I'm fun.
Oh, you're so fun.
Okay. It's like you said that like you
so much.
You said that like you were about to be like, yeah, you kind of suck. You're a hoe.
You're a hoe. No, you're really fun to work with too. It's just, it's like I'm just like in the age where I'm like trying to figure things out in life, and you have almost everything figured out, and so I feel like I can learn a lot from you. So that makes it. It does.
Yeah, I mean, if fake it till you make it, you know.
You just gotta fake it till you make it.
Even if I don't have it figured out, I'm not afraid to be like, hey, listen, I tried this one time and it was a disaster.
Yeah.
So or don't do what I did.
Or this is what you should do.
Try this.
I didn't do that, but this is what you should do.
My mom told me do this and I didn't do it, and now I'm like, my mom was right.
What was the saying? Do as I say.
Do as I say, not as I do.
My mom said that to me.
Yeah. Facts. Actual facts.
All right. So welcome to the podcast. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a rating. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do all the things.
Instagram. Follow us.
TikTok.
We welcome criticism, but I'll say, like I said the other day, if you're gonna be an asshole, be a funny one. Because I want to read it and be like, okay, we would be friends, and I can appreciate what they're actually trying to say.
Yeah, you can take their criticism.
Yeah, but like if you have no personality, don't waste your time being about it, because it's not going to work.
It's not. So this is a very prolific case when it comes to like national media.
Yeah, I got a lot of public attention, and understandably, because
it's odd. It's an odd one.
It's off the wall. Off the charts, off the wall.
And I feel like it's like a perfect storm. Like, all these bad things happened, and no one was really alerted to, and then, bam, a bomb went off.
It's pretty, pretty rough.
Oh, it's intense. So we're talking about the case.
Hold on, I have to tell you one. So we record like one part is like expired and a whole other part is TTM. So sitting in here, it was actually last week, like last Friday, I had something in my eye. I think it's a thing from this blanket. But I was sitting over here with my headphones on, listening to different things from the interrogation and listening to different doctors analyzing people involved in this case. And Taylor and Billy were sitting like right over there in the TTM part, and they're talking to me, but I don't know they're talking to me because I have my headphones on. Mm-hmm. And finally, one of them like claps really loud or something. And so I take my headphones off and I'm like, what? And they're like, do you want to go get lunch with us? And I was like, no, I'm good. I'll just, like, I'm not really hungry. And then I just put my headphones back on, and then they clapped again. They're like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, well, if you knew what I was looking into right now, you would understand why I'm like, human contact. No, this is awful. Yeah. So again, we really underestimated the effect that doing this podcast would have on us.
Seriously.
Shocked.
Thank God we have a friendship.
Yeah, where we can actually like talk to each other.
Yeah.
Just oh my God.
Fuck around or whatever.
Yes.
But
God, man.
I know. The boys don't understand. They'll never understand what we go through. Okay.
On so many levels.
On so many levels. On so many levels.
Okay. I'm going to touch my hair one more time, and then I'm going to try not to
touch
it again.
Who gives a...
I need a haircut so bad.
You should get a haircut. Have you ever thought about having short hair? You did it one time, right?
Yeah, I thought about shaving it off.
Shaving it?
Yeah, to donate it.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm. But like,
I just cut mine because it was like 2 or 3 inches longer, and I'm just loving the short, and I love to
it's light, isn't it?
Oh, yes. And it takes so much less time.
You have great hair, though.
I just love to play with the ends. That's my favorite part. Oh my gosh, I do it all the time. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's go.
Zachary Davis. He was originally born as a younger brother to someone who older than him, but very close in age.
Yeah.
1 to 2 years.
Yep.
We'll probably refer to it as 2 because it's a little bit longer. Normal family, grew up in Kentucky. He was one of 2 boys to a mom and dad, Chris and Melanie. Just very normal.
Normal, average, like your regular old family of 4.
Mm-hmm. 2 boys, like, just living life.
Yeah, and I feel like the brothers grew up pretty close, like, to each other. Like,
yeah, because they're close in age,
their parents,
same gender.
Yeah, parents seem to have, like, a normal, good, regular marriage. Really just your typical family.
Yeah. Southern family, too. You know, I feel like we can relate with that a little bit more than people maybe listening in different countries or different parts of the
I think
country.
Being like a small family in a rural area is kind of helps for me explain like closeness.
Yeah.
And simplicity.
Yeah.
Like it's very slow and simple.
Yeah.
In the South.
Yeah. It is. And it's a typical family. They're living in Kentucky, raising, 2 boys. And then the dad, Chris, is diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, a.k.a. ALS. Yes. My aunt had ALS. Do you know anybody with ALS?
I do. So the man who basically started the wrestling program at Bentley School, he was diagnosed with ALS, I think, 3 or 4 years ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And he still shows up to every match, every tournament. His youngest son is in high school. He's a junior, and his oldest son, who's just 4 years, I think, older, 3 or 4 years older than the younger son, he is the only state champion for Boyd.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he helps coach the high school.
That's amazing. I feel like I've seen him on your social media. Probably.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
They still, they support the wrestling program so much, and anyone that knows wrestling knows that it's like the redheaded stepchild of sports. And we kind of take pride in that. Like, we don't need all the support and all the money and boosters and stuff, But he had that whole family. I mean, they are just amazing people. But I will say, in the past year, he has been in a motorized wheelchair, and it is the coolest thing because he'll sit mat side because he still helps coach. Like, he will show up to practice and stuff, but he sits like mat side in the coach's corner, and on his wheelchair, he can type, like, with his finger, like, type into this computer what he wants to say, or, like, cheer for somebody, or, like, as a kid comes off the mat. And when they pass by him, you could, like, for instance, with Bentley can walk by him and you can hear the computer say, "Way to be, Bentley. Good job." Like, for him. Isn't that cool?
Because I know ALS is a muscular disease, and you can't walk, you can't talk, you can't use your muscles. You
lose things slowly, but yeah, so like you can hear him speaking, and I'm like, that is so cool. Or like they'll get in a huddle, and he'll type out this whole thing, and it like he's still able to like communicate in very much just like how he is, and it is it gives me chills thinking about it because like it's awesome, and I don't know. I just feel like it's such a positive way to
live.
Yeah. And like to still be an inspiration and like
even more.
Yeah. Like it's so cool.
That's amazing. Because I had an aunt who had ALS, and this was like during the Ice Bucket Challenge. Do you remember that?
Yep.
I was nominated for it, and I just donated because I'm not going to have a bucket of ice.
Oh, really? I did it.
I don't blame anyone who does it, especially if they're going to spread awareness. But I was like, I'm just going to pray because I'm going to take the easy way out. But it got her so quickly. She was a kindergarten teacher in the Key West for 40, 50 years. Single woman, never married, never had kids. Like, and it just took her so fast. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really
That's
cool.
Incredible.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so his dad gets ALS, and unfortunately, he passes away in 2007. He was young at the time, 8 or 9. The brother was 9 or 10. Mm-hmm. And that just has to be so hard on a kid's mental health, you know?
Yeah, I would say, too, definitely hard on the mom as well, because I think especially having 2 boys and having a dad that's very involved and your husband, like your best friend, going at that age for boys, like 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, something this really, sad and terrible happening, it would be very difficult to as a woman who the boys had their dad and she had her husband, like to then try and figure out and learn all the aspects of a boy
and of being a single mom at the same time.
Yes, when they're at that prime age, like pre-pubescent, like it's the hormones are about to start raging. Yeah. So with that being said, they decide they need a fresh start and basically up and move to Hendersonville, Tennessee, which is like middle Tennessee.
It's like right out of Nashville, like right outside of Nashville.
And I think, like, I don't even know the details of all of this because you can't really find anything on it, but I feel like that's a very good decision.
It could be. It could also be very traumatic. I moved schools. I did not move homes, but I moved schools in the 4th grade about the same time.
I went to 3 different elementary schools.
But that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that has something to do with, like, maybe my anxiety and depression, just, like, anticipation, like, all, am I going to make friends? I'm so insecure. Like, you're in a new place.
And you're sad. You miss your old friends.
Yeah.
Comparing things.
Yeah.
Different routines.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I feel like that can make an impact, but that's what they do. And if that's what's best for Melanie and her 2 boys, then I'll be it. So Zachary has a brother named Joshua. He's a couple years older. And right around the time his dad dies of ALS, after they move, he's diagnosed with depression and psychosis in 2008. So his dad died in 2007. By 2008, his mom,
she recognized like different, just mood changes, behavior changes. In my opinion, it had to be more than 1 or 2 things, and probably more aggressive than what? Don't do math.
You don't know he's going to a meth call.
Listen, just
it could be a
all the
train
meth
wreck.
we've had to talk about.
It could be
all the meth we've had to talk about on this podcast.
Yeah.
But no, like from a parent perspective, it would have to be one, like 5, at least a handful of things, and at least like 2 or 3 of those things being quite different or dark or alarming for someone who, from what we understand, a family that really has never like seen therapists or like had to do things just simply because life maybe never gave them those circumstances. For
therapy
her
is everything.
Therapy is everything. I feel like even you definitely should go to therapy even when nothing is going on.
Period.
Because you can then revisit like, oh, I was very happy when I was doing this.
You can figure more things out.
100%. And you don't have to carry all the weight by yourself.
Go to therapy.
Go to therapy.
I love therapy. Oh my gosh. Oh, so good.
It's so good.
So he gets into therapy, but he's only seen about 4 times by, I believe it's like a Dr. Bradley. You know, I don't know how often, like when I was in therapy consistently, I would go every 2 weeks because that's what I could afford.
Same.
There are more affordable options now.
Yep.
But is that how you?
Yeah. So
whenever
I kind of base it on what I need. So like if I need to go every week, every other week, that's what I'm doing. If I am good, I'll go. I still do at least once a month.
Right. And
honestly, same with Bentley. Like Bentley has been, this September will be 2 years consistently in therapy. The first, I would say 6 to 9 months was every other week. And then since then, or after that, it went to once every 3 weeks for about 5 months. And then since then, now it's once a month. But at the same time, like, he has a cell phone. They have a cell phone. So like they can do they can text, get on FaceTime anytime he needs to.
That's really good.
But yeah.
So good to have in his back pocket. Like
100%.
Anytime anything comes up, just
100%.
Text his therapist. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So therapy is amazing. So he was seen by a therapist 4 times for mental health. And then he stops randomly. I've heard reports where Melanie pulled him out, the mom.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. It just didn't seem like he was super interested in it, but that's kind of his personality. Like he's very monotoned and expressionless, and maybe he was just like, I'm not getting anything out of this, mom. So, or it could be Melanie couldn't afford it because she just moved to a new town. She's trying to get established. She has 2, boys. Like she doesn't have her husband to like, it could have been, I'm telling you, this
any number of things. Any number of things. But I will say too, based off of just like what we do know, and not saying that that's exactly what happened, but based on a whole lot of theories that have never even been spoken about, we're just inferring here. Like, it could be because
just our opinion,
right?
Like,
but if behaviors are being presented enough for you to seek therapy and help with your child that is very much an adolescent, it should not be up to them when they stop.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Period.
You're right.
There's a reason 11-year-olds or 10-year-olds aren't legally able to make decisions,
right.
Yeah. So I really would be interested to know how that went down for him to see like multiple doctors and then
just stop suddenly
out of it. Yeah. After he had been diagnosed with 2 things.
Yeah.
So pretty serious things too.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I don't know if we'll ever get the answer to that question, you know?
Yeah. I doubt it.
I doubt it too. So Zach and Josh, they were in high school at the time of this incident. They went to Station Camp High School in Hendersonville. Zach was a freshman and Josh was a sophomore. So year and a half apart. Zachary and his mom at 16, or 15, his brother was 16, just normal, kind of normal family. Like, usually they kind of kept to themselves when they were at home.
Yeah.
Because her two sons' personalities were just so different. Like, I feel like I am Zachary. Want to be alone. Don't bother me. I'll be in my room.
Careful doing that.
Yeah, no, seriously. And you are like Josh, like sports, like,
yeah,
let's
but
go.
see, like, I don't talk to people.
I know, but
where I think you do.
That's probably true.
Yeah, we're mixed.
Yeah. Because we're
a hybrid.
I do not want to claim Zach for this, because at 15 years old, a sophomore in high school, a very introverted kid, a very
to himself,
didn't have any friends, pretty much. Just
very few interests.
Stayed low. Nothing really to write home about him. Commits a heinous crime at 15 years old. That's just...
So, on August 10th, unfortunately for two reasons, because this happened, but also because August 10th is my birthday.
Go Leo.
And in 2012, I would have been in Charlotte, North Carolina for my 21st birthday. At the amusement park, Carowinds, and then a club called Butter.
Thank God you weren't in Nashville.
Yeah, thank God.
Could you imagine?
No. Yeah, August 10th, 2012. Melanie Davis, her two sons, they go to, she takes her oldest son to...
The orthodontist.
Yeah, doctor. I was thinking doctor. Dentist appointment. And texts her younger son, Zachary.
Who's at home.
And says, hey, I'm taking Joshua to the orthodontist. Basically, do y'all want? We're gonna go see a movie later. Do you want to see Born or what's the other one? Something similar.
Congregation?
No, something similar though. Do you want to see Born or another movie? I want to see both. Blah blah.
Yeah, just kind of figuring out their evening
plans.
Yeah.
So she goes home. They all go to the movies, see the movie, come home, and basically they do their normal night routine.
Just kind of be by themselves.
Yeah, she goes to bed.
The campaign.
The campaign, that's it.
Born or the campaign? I just looked up movies in August of 2020. The campaign.
So, the boys are like playing video games, not together. They're just doing their normal thing.
They went and saw a movie, had a doctor's appointment, went and saw a movie, came home, getting ready for bed. Typical.
Yeah. And then, I don't even want to say it.
Then Melanie was bludgeoned to death in her sleep. This is such a weird case. I just feel like it's so odd. So Zach was like the odd man out, I feel, and randomly...
Even at school, though, too.
Yeah, even at school. Yeah. All parts of life, he was the odd man out. And it's so weird because their text seems so like, love you, like, yeah, let's go. Like, it just seems so normal.
Yeah, like, they were all okay being their own individual selves with their own, like, all right, we just come together as a family, and it's okay that you're the one that plays sports, and you're the one that's to himself and plays video games, and the mom is, she works out, and she does,
she's a paralegal, she does triathlon.
Yeah, and she's a good mom.
Yeah.
And she is okay with both of them being who they are, and they each are okay with each of them being different. Like, it's all cool.
But, like, loving, too.
Yeah.
It's odd.
It's very odd. Their text messages tell a completely different story than what happens.
Exactly. So on August 10th, it's late at night, closer to midnight. Zach gets in his mind. He's going to pack a bag. He's going to prepare. He's going to get ready for this event. And
then leave.
And run afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to know, if you know, please message us, because I'm dying to know if he saw Born or the campaign.
Yeah, because I don't too.
You know, it could
I just
be
want
nothing.
to watch. I'm gonna watch both movies
and just see if there was like a full switch
something,
flipped.
yes.
Something.
Yes. What
so
emotional pulls did both movies have?
Yes. And just see, like, you know, what's up with it. So he goes out. He gets prepared for this event. He packs a bag. He gets stuff together. He goes out to the garage and gets a sledgehammer.
So the backpack had, he put several items into a backpack, including clothing, notebooks, a toothbrush, gloves, a ski mask, and a claw hammer.
Yeah. Just things that would prove he was going to run and try and survive.
Yeah.
Outside of
the home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So Zachary gets this sledgehammer from the garage. He said that his mom, Melanie, went to bed at like 9:00. And when he knew she was asleep at, 11, 12, like a normal person, he walked into his mother's room and he bludgeoned her to death. He struck her 20 plus times.
Yeah. And he checked to see if she was asleep first.
Oh, yeah. He knew. I feel like he knew. Like, I knew when I was growing up. Okay, Dad's asleep, Mom's still up.
You can tell
Mom's
by their
go to bed late.
position, by their breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that's anyone you live with, you can know,
He hit her once, and then her eyes opened, and he says that he looked her in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe she wasn't there, like, not realizing what is happening. Just like a blank stare, maybe. I don't know how death goes.
Could have been a mixture of like shock, concussion, brain injury, and survival mode.
Yeah.
And adrenaline, you know?
And it's not just like hitting someone. He would lift the sledgehammer up over his head, and he describes it in the interrogation, and bring it down 20 plus times.
Yeah. And he goes on to say that she started seizing, and then he got a pillow, just like suffocating her, basically.
Because his brother's still there.
Yeah, and he didn't want him like coming in the room.
And he describes wanting her death to be quick. And
and then like they keep asking him, he is very honest about what he did prior to, how he did it, what all went down, what he saw, what he felt, what he heard, what his plan was before, during, and after.
Yeah.
Completely honest.
And then polite, too.
Yes. And every time they go to the question of why. Why did you murder your mother? He says he knows why, but that he would just rather not share. Mm-hmm. And then, they go further into the interrogation, and he says all the other things, and he is still completely honest, doesn't backtrack once, is very calm, very monotone, very honestly creepy. Mm. And then they ask him again, and he says the same thing over and over. I know why, but I'd rather not share.
Why were you laughing your ass off when you killed your mother?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. We went over this a while ago. You know why that you wanted to kill your mom. You just don't want to tell me.
No, I actually don't know why I was laughing.
Well, was it a sense of accomplishment?
No, sir.
Do you laugh when you read the horror books?
No, sir.
Did you laugh today or yesterday when you read Misery?
No, sir.
Do you see do you see why it would be difficult for me to understand why that would be funny?
Yes, sir. A lot of people, because it's just highly unusual for a 15-year-old to take a sledgehammer and be laughing his ass off and hit her in the head with it 12 times. What do you think?
I don't have any information to give to you.
You can't think of any reason whatsoever?
No, sir.
Dr. Phil would later maybe get that out of him. It could be just for TV.
Yeah,
or
but
whatever.
then in trial, he changed his story again.
Yeah, he does. He changes his story a couple times.
Way later, though.
Yeah.
God, this interrogation, y'all. We'll post it.
Yeah, we gotta play it. It's insane. Because I think it just gives a good picture of who he was and who he is, both in interrogation and with a professional interview.
Yes.
Yeah. It just kind of explains a lot of things that I had questions about, like what kind of person he was, you know?
See, I see it as like, I don't get answers, but it explains why I don't have answers. You know, like, I don't know who he is at all, but now I know why I don't know who he is.
Okay, so if you're listening to a crime podcast,
Mm-hmm.
do you rather, like, because I'm obsessed with crime shows, like any crime show I'm down to watch because I need to see, I need someone to visualize it for me. Would you rather listen to an episode of a crime or watch it?
It depends. So, like, if I'm going to watch something, I need it to be, like, it's got to be forensic files or, like, unsolved mysteries.
Like actual
Or
footage.
Homicide Hunter. But if it's true crime, definitely podcasts.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, really the only, like, time I have it on my own with, like...
Yeah, because you have kids.
Yeah, like, no one around telling me, and do this, can we do this, whatever, where I can actually, like, hear it and pay attention is in my car.
Yeah.
Or at night when I'm in the shower, like, I'll put my Bluetooth speaker on and, like, listen to an episode while I'm taking a shower.
Yeah. See,
Isn't that weird?
It's so funny because
I just go to sleep to murder. It's fine.
Literally, our last Instagram post, follow us at Expired Podcast 423. I literally was like, I like to party. By party, I mean listen to true crime podcast. I'm the one who likes to watch it because I feel like I need to see who we're talking about. I'm just a visual person. So I like to it sounds so bad. I like to see the victim, the person who they think.
Yeah.
I want to see it all.
Yeah.
Before I can form a memory of it. I'm just a visual person. I need to see things.
Yeah, I feel like I'm actually that way too. I think for me, there's just a difference in like a documentary episode that would be on TV versus a documentary podcast.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like podcasts are more straightforward and you're more straightforward.
Yeah, I'm like, let's get through the bullshit.
Yeah.
And I need to know ABCD and I need to talk to ABCD and I need to sleuth ABCD.
Yeah.
And then put all the puzzle pieces together.
I just need to watch a bunch of episodes on the same topic and get a
full picture.
Yeah, full picture. So, Zachary, after hitting his mother, he decides to pour whiskey and light a fire in what they called the game room, like a family room. He's trying to destroy evidence.
Yeah. Did you read where his first choice was he was trying to take either like a push lawnmower?
Oh yeah. Up the stairs.
Yeah. To empty the fuel tank.
Doesn't.
And we'll get to this later, but for someone with an IQ as high as his,
that's not logical.
No, it's not logical at all.
And even using whiskey isn't logical because it's flammable, yes, but
it's also
you don't
water.
Drench
the
whole place.
It's also water.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is odd. So that's what he does.
He clearly only had one part of this planned out.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was like us. He was true crime obsessed. Mm-hmm. Later, we'll get into like what they found in his bedroom and notebooks,
Google search and phone notes and all the things.
He was into it, and he just didn't execute. I think in the best way, and that could be because of his mental status. So with that fire, he actually intended to kill his brother Josh, just eliminate everything in his life. People-wise, and I don't really know what his next guess was, and he didn't really either, because when the fire was set, soon after a fire alarm went off, and he's trying to get his stuff together, he has a huge knife that he drops by the front door while he's trying to escape, because this fire alarm went off, and he figured attention is going to be brought to this.
Right. So the mistake he made was that he closed the doors.
He closed and locked his mother's door.
Yeah, closed that door, and then he had closed another, like the game room door or whatever.
And it contained it.
Yeah, so number one, it contained it, so his brother, in fact, did not die. Mm-hmm. Also, this is the exact reason why everyone in our home sleeps with the door shut. It is a rule. Doors must be closed.
I used to like to sleep with the door open just because I have animals and they go in and out, and I'm a single lady. Like, I just want to know if I want to hear. But recently I have been closing my door just to feel more safe.
Yeah. No, growing up, I always kept the door closed, but it was honestly more about a heat and AC thing, like keeping my room cold in the summer and hot in the winter. Mm-hmm. But as a mom, it's for protection in case of fire. Yeah. But also in case of an intruder, they are going to go to the rooms where statistically, they go to the rooms where the doors are already open. Yeah. So
that's a good stat. I did not know that.
Yes.
I'm going to close all my freaking doors now. Yeah, he closed his mother's door. So the fire alarm goes off. He runs for like miles.
5 miles, something crazy. Yeah.
He runs far and just keeps running.
Yeah, like for someone who was not like in like any sort of endurance shape. Mm-hmm.
That's a long time to run.
Yeah, and then I'm wondering, but his mom was a like she did triathlon, so like did he actually run with her? Or maybe he just knew what the breathing practices are when you're running. Like, how did you run that far when you don't run?
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Mental illness. Like, I'm telling you, perfect storm.
Yes.
So while this is happening, he's running away, Zach. Josh wakes up from the fire alarm. He, realizes that the house is on fire. So he goes to his mother's room to wake her up, get her out, and it's locked. And so he literally breaks the door down and sees his mother
dead.
How Zach left her.
Yeah.
And then decides, okay, the fire is continuing. Let's get out.
And she's already dead.
And she's gone. So
he goes to a neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Calls for help. Calls the police. At this point, I'm not even sure. I don't even think I ever heard, like, did he look for his brother?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did either. Red flag.
Yeah. Their relationship as brothers seems odd. Yeah.
Very, very weird.
Just very opposite, very...
I can tell you right now, my brother's not leaving a house that's burning without knowing where I am.
Where you are. See?
No matter if we even tried to beat the shit out of each other that day.
It's normal.
Because we fought like cats and dogs. Like, he would not. I wouldn't leave without knowing where he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like
have to make me leave without him.
Because I grew up with no siblings. I feel like that would be my first thing.
Yeah.
Like, where's my brother? Where's my sister?
Yes.
Okay, where are our parents?
Yes. Okay, where's our dogs and cats?
Yeah. Like,
yes.
Yeah, I feel like there would be steps to it. But
neither of us would have, and I could speak for Taylor here too. He's not leaving a house when he's a kid if his sister's in there. Mm-hmm. Like, he's going to know where she is and know that she's either already out or find her and get her out.
Yeah.
Period. But their relationship's weird.
Yeah. So police, fire, EMS all show up to the scene and they put the fire out. They assess Josh, make sure he's not injured, and they start their investigation. They look into what happened with the fire, why this woman is bludgeoned to death in her bed. They just go,
where's the other son?
And where's the other son?
And they find him like that night.
Yeah, they find him very quickly. And it's so weird because as quickly as they find him, he confesses to everything.
Yeah, he's like,
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Typical day.
Yes, sir. No, sir. This is what happened. Yes, sir. No, sir. It's
Yep.
just odd. It's just so weird.
Very odd.
Very weird. So.
Moving into like really the public attention and a little bit more on the interrogation. One of the things back to like the motive and like them thinking like, okay, we have all the information, you know, he has openly told us everything and has stayed consistent with everything. Number one, they ask him about school. Does he have friends? How is his relationship with his brother? And he's like, I don't have friends. Really the only friend, even based off of, like talking to other people, phone records, everything. The only person that he actually claimed as a friend was a teacher.
Red flag.
And as he's doing that, he's talking about how he was so, like that one day he thought his teacher was, or his friend who was a teacher was mad at him.
Yeah, and he was trying to like,
and he didn't know
fix it
why.
or-
Yeah, but he never says anything about who, what, when, where, why, how the teacher would be mad at him.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
Then, again, we're talking about like a 15-year-old kid. His only friend that he claims is a teacher at the school. Another thing was like the brother, Joshua, he is very clear about the fact that like Zachary is kind of odd. He is really to himself, but to him, the way his body language and stuff,
it's normal.
Yeah, he's like, but that's just him. Like, that's just how he is.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's fine. But he doesn't know much about him.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He knows how he presents himself. He knows how he acts. He knows what his regular systems are. But he doesn't know much truly about him.
Like, personally, deep down.
Yes.
And even police officers were like, got the vibe that he was like putting on a show or like trying to be something he's not. Or
they even asked the brother about like, has he always talked like this? Like, has he always been this quiet and to himself and disconnected? Like,
and his brother says, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
that's normal.
That's just him. But I'll be honest, I'm not sure I believed his brother. But I also don't necessarily I don't believe everything either one of them said.
Right.
I think they're both very confused.
And traumatized, probably.
From all the things that have happened in their life.
All the things.
Then according to, when they asked him they're still trying to get to the motive. They said, "What was your mom a good mom?" And he said, "I can't say that she was." And he said, the detective says, "Okay, so she was a bad mom?" And he says, "She wasn't a good mom and she wasn't a bad mom."
Just like no emotion. Just did not seem to care. Very little
about
emotion.
Anything.
About anything.
Nothing. There was no passion for anything. Very, very, very weird. Very odd.
So after all of this happened and they are going to court and trying to figure everything out, really the only thing that changes in Zach's story when they go to court is that his brother sexually abused him.
Shortly after they moved to Tennessee.
Exactly. And I try and believe sexual abuse victims, period. But you made a good point about if this is going to happen once, it's probably going to happen again.
And if it doesn't happen again, this same aggressive, violent behavior will still
come out.
persist, but in maybe other ways.
Right.
The fact that this was the only thing,
Single time.
and there is like not even schoolmates, teachers, other family, like no one could ever say. I mean, even the older brother Joshua got in a fight in middle school in 8th grade with a kid because he was picking on Zach.
He cared for him.
Yes.
Maybe not in a true brother fashion.
Yeah,
but
I
he
think
did
as
care
they
for
got
him.
older, I think when they were younger, it was like that. I think as they got older and went different ways, different directions, it kind of separated them. But for me, it's just, that's not going to happen one time when you continue to live under the same roof and the opportunity continues to present itself.
Yeah, he tried to say that after this happened, he wouldn't shower just so that his brother wouldn't attack him again. I honestly think it was a last-ditch effort from probably their attorneys, his attorney, being like, you have mental health issues.
Yeah.
Plus, your dad died. Plus, this happened to you as a kid. This is gonna get you off.
He also tells in the Dr. Phil thing that he did that the reason, and I think this is the first time he gives a lie. Why he did it.
In Dr. Phil, because Dr. Phil thing is like a whole nother can of worms.
It is.
Oh.
We'll put some of that in here too.
Yeah.
But he says it's the first time he gives a why, and he very confidently, almost as if is what he said the whole time.
Yeah.
Like he forgot what his first reason was, or if he ever even gave a reason. But he says, because my mom wasn't taking care of my family.
My family. Why would you care about?
But also, my family? You were a child.
What do you mean?
It would be our family.
Never
Not
thought
my family. You're not a parent.
Yeah.
You're the youngest one. My family. Our family. Maybe it was because she was already gone at this point, so he said my family, as in me and my brother. But like, still,
That's
the
odd.
verbiage is weird.
Yeah.
My family.
The whole interview is weird with Dr. Phil. I'm glad that he took this case because I feel like it gave us more insight because
He asked really good questions.
he did. We got to take a note from Dr. Phil when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love to not love him. And I don't love to love him. You know, it's like, it's one of those like, dang, this is good.
Or this is
Or,
shit.
oh my God, Dr. Phil, stop. Like, quit. This is silly. You're better than this.
Yeah. But he got some good answers out of it.
He did.
New answers that we had never heard before.
Well, he asked questions in specific ways too that were almost, I don't want to say taunting him, but made the questions feel very appealing to Zachary to answer.
Yeah.
It gave him a lot of power.
Yeah, it did.
Made him feel powerful to answer the question.
Yeah. And he showed that because he would laugh and smile at very odd times.
Like he had
I portrayed it as someone was in his ear telling him jokes.
Yes.
Or telling him things, or he would remember certain things as to what Dr. Phil's talking about, and those things that are horrible, graphic, nasty stuff would amuse him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
sick.
That whole situation is the first time I felt like he was putting on a show.
Yeah.
Because in the interrogation, I did not feel like he was.
Yeah, I didn't either. Either brother. I thought they were in shock and like just...
I thought the other brother was lying about certain things.
Really?
Yeah, something. So I don't know. I could be totally wrong. This is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't get good vibes from him.
What's that doing when you get home?
I think she's playing Xbox. We kind of keep to ourselves, I guess.
Okay, so you and Zach don't have a good relationship?
Well, no, we do. It's just like I don't know. Like he just kind of, stays to himself. He's kind of a quiet person, I guess.
Have you been having any problems? I mean,
He's always been kind of like quiet. I guess odd.
I don't know why.
I trust your intuition. I trust
Just, I don't know.
it. No good vibes.
No, but I will say if I'm not correct, or like if there is a reason why that would be the case and why it's not as serious as it is in my head, would be because he was like in complete shock over what just happened, you know. But still, for some reason, I don't know, the energy is just not.
Got a weird vibe by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they go to trial. They have, all these doctors come in to make sure he's mentally capable, what his mental health status is, try and diagnose him with a certain thing. And, all this video evidence shows up at trial. The interrogation, the original interrogation, plus the Dr. Phil stuff was shown in trial.
They had 4 different clinicians sit with him for hours, each of them.
Try and diagnose him, yeah.
Well, trying to see if he was fit or competent to stand trial. And it's very interesting because 2 of them, the first one and the second one, both, the first one said, he does hear voices and he is psychotic. He has delusional beliefs, as in like he would claim stories of like him believing that the guards in jail were basically colluding to kill him. So like just delusional, like there was no rhyme or reason for him to believe that.
He just believed it.
Yes, like just delusional thoughts that were scary for him.
For anything as far as having problems with thinking about things or anything. I saw you there. Sure, I have. Wasn't a very long direction of time. What was that about? He wanted to see a therapist. My mother. She did. Okay, so it was just a couple times is all you saw him. How long ago was that? A year that one ago. You remember what year that was?
What were the reasons that your mama wanted you to go there?
She never told me.
And doesn't he later come out and say, when he was hearing voices, that when he killed his mother, he heard his father's voice?
Yeah, so
he had been hearing it for a little while.
Yeah, he had claimed to hear voices for a while. It was always his father's voice, and in the beginning, it really just happened like shortly after his dad passed away. He said when he would be trying to go to sleep, he would hear his dad's voice. But then, like, when the event actually occurred, that it was very prominent, like his dad's voice in his head.
And with the interviews, I feel like you can make that connection. It's just like, oh my gosh, his dad's telling him a joke on the side and no one can hear it but him. Or
exactly. It's very, very odd.
Very odd.
I'd say about 20 times.
Was this a 3-pound sledgehammer, 5-pound sledgehammer?
I don't know.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Way bigger than a hammer. Right? Yeah. And where did you hit her?
In the head.
Where was she when you did this?
She was in her room.
What was she doing?
She was asleep.
Okay, so your mother was asleep in her room, and you opened the door and went in there? Okay, and you need to help me understand here. You're standing outside her bedroom door. You've got a sledgehammer in one hand. You've got your hand on the doorknob with the other. And you open that door. What's going through your head at that moment?
I don't remember. My mind was pretty much blank.
Where did you get the hammer?
I got it from our garage.
Did you go out to the garage to get it that night? And This was about 11 o'clock at night, right?
Yeah.
So where were you right before you went to the garage? Where were you when you made up your mind to do it?
I was in the living room.
Why kill her that night? Why not kill her a week earlier or a week later? Something made that night the night.
I had enough.
You had enough? Why that day?
I just thought it was a good time.
You remember opening the door, right? It wasn't locked?
It wasn't.
Did you stand there and look at her for a minute before you did it?
Yeah.
Did you say goodbye to her in your mind?
No.
And when you swung that hammer the first time, did you swing it hard?
Yes.
Did you swing from over your head?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was this a big swing from over your head? Did she make a noise?
I could just hear the hammer hitting her head.
And what did it sound like?
It was this wet, thumping sound.
Yeah. How long before you hit her the second time?
Just a few seconds.
Did you think she was already dead?
She woke up and she started seizing up.
So he was competent to stand trial. He did go to trial.
Did you believe he was competent to stand trial? Because 2 doctors said he wasn't, and 2 said that he was. And
I'm on the fence because I'm not a mental health professional.
right. One of the ones that said he was, though, there are a lot of other doctors that do not respect the opinion of that doctor at all.
And he said that doctor said he was competent.
Mm-hmm. It was one of the ones
So
that said
maybe he wasn't. If
I think he was, because I boil it down to the simple question. Does he know the difference between right and wrong?
yeah,
And does he know that what he did was wrong, whether he would do it again or not?
and he does.
He does know that it's wrong. He knew it was wrong the whole time.
Yeah,
And truth be told, if he could go back and do it again, he would do it again,
And
knowing
do it
that
worse.
it's wrong.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And he would have killed his brother while doing it.
yeah. Because that's part of the interview. He said
Yeah.
if he had to do it over again, that's
He
the
would just
only thing
make
that he
sure
would
that
change.
his brother would die
Yeah.
as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that's what I break that down to. Do you know the difference between right and wrong?
Mhm.
Or did you know the difference between right and wrong
At the
when you were doing what you were doing?
Yeah,
And I do believe he knew that it was
I
wrong.
probably more lean towards that.
Can't say for certain.
Yeah, obviously
But-
this is our opinion,
Mhm.
but I just have a heart for sexually abused people and people
Mhm.
with mental health because I deal with both of those things,
Definitely.
and it's just a soft spot.
Those should always hold as much weight as the law
Yeah,
from a medical standpoint.
exactly. So he was eventually tried, and he got, I believe it was 71 years. It's 75 years.
Can I say
Huge.
really quickly that he had an IQ of 111?
Yeah, super smart. Do you know what your IQ is?
It ain't that.
I want
I
to
can
take
tell
an
you-
IQ test.
We should do that.
I bet mine is lower than yours.
Why?
I don't know.
IQ, I think, is based off of stuff that, like, on an average day, like,
What you do and like how
Yeah.
you react or whatever.
yeah, for sure.
I think it would be close, but I believe if we took one, I would be lower than you. Just because I'm an idiot sometimes.
No, you're not.
I can be. I
You
sure
are
can.
not an idiot.
Oh, yeah, my
one of
emotions get the best of
Okay,
me.
if anyone here knows anyone that does like solid, like I'm not going to go Google IQ test and take the stupid ones. I want you to share it on your Facebook.
Yeah.
Not that. If anyone knows of how we should actually go about taking an IQ test,
Let us know.
please. That would be fun.
so fun.
That would be fun.
We should take it on camera and then get our genuine reaction.
Yeah, but if we're both stupid, we're not sharing.
No, we'll just delete it. We never got a comment about where we should take the IQ test.
We didn't figure it out.
Super smart. And that's what I think scares people, is because most serial killers are, like Dahmer, incredibly smart. Like, I'm glad he got... I hate that his mother passed away, but I'm glad he got caught off the street, taken out of society so quickly in his serial killer career.
Yeah.
You know?
He
wanted this, and he just wasn't. If a person with how much IQ?
111.
111 IQ can't get away with murder, you can't either.
And you shouldn't try.
And you should try.
Don't do meth. Don't try to murder someone.
Don't do meth. Don't murder. That should be our slogan. He's in a Tennessee state prison, living his life.
So what's your true opinion on this? Like, if you had to put it in like 3 sentences of why you think it happened, if you think what we know is all of the truth, and if you think he was competent to stand trial, what's your opinion?
I think...
Mainly on the why. What led up to it? What caused this?
I think he was competent. I think that this was a perfect storm. And I think he had an obsession, an unhealthy obsession with killers and
that's facts.
Bad things. Plus the fact that he was mentally ill and had no emotion. So he didn't care. So he thought, these are the easiest targets. They're the 2 people closest to me. I'm so smart. I love serial killers and know how to get away. He even wrote in his notebook how to get away. Like, he was like, get away from the scene as soon as you can.
Yep. And he went and bought a map.
After the murder, went and bought a Pepsi, of all things.
Left
at a
his
gas
phone
station.
And knew to leave his phone because he said, because I knew
it would be tracked. No, he took his phone, but he threw it in a ditch. Like, he got rid of it, essentially. But I think that's why. It was a perfect storm. He thought he could get away with it because he thought he was smart. But no.
Do you think he cares?
I don't think he has any emotion towards
remorse
things.
at all.
I don't think he can feel love. I don't think he can feel maybe parts of love, parts of anger, which he's represented, but I don't think
he even knows
what that feels like. Yeah.
Okay, last question. Do you think that had he stayed in any form or sort of treatment as far as therapy and diagnosis and medication for his mental health problems, diseases, and issues, do you think if he would have stayed in some form of professional and medical help and treatment, that this would have still happened?
Absolutely no. I feel like if he had gotten the treatment
and
continued it, got on the right medication, figured out all the trauma that he had been through.
Honestly, not to say that doesn't mean that he doesn't end up in a psychiatric hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, totally. That could still happen.
And that's
from, like,
what we've heard. The paternal grandmother is fighting for him to be out of jail and into
a hospital.
Mental hospital.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, yeah, if
what do you think, though?
No, I think that had he had the help, resources, and more professional and experienced opinions and all the things, I do not believe this would have happened.
I agree.
And before I say that he would and should be now, today, based on everything that did actually happen, if he should be in a prison versus a psychiatric hospital.
Where would you put him?
I think I would need to see the records from the years he has been in prison. What's his behavior? Who are his contacts, connections? How is he interpreting it? And also reevaluate him.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, I mean, obviously not me because I'm not a doctor, but see a reevaluation before I could decide if I think he is better suited to be in a hospital than a prison.
I wonder if he is taking medication for his mental illness while, like, was he ever given a prescription to...
In prison?
Yeah. I know you have to, like, ask to be evaluated. You have to ask for medication or whatever.
I bet we couldn't even find that because that would be against HIPAA.
Right.
So.
Unless he said, yes, I'm getting, or no, I'm not getting.
Right.
But that would be very interesting to see how his life is in prison. Like, how he's doing.
Yeah. Like.
Is he doing good? Is he doing bad? Does he have problems? Does
what's
he not?
His roommate like?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Also, did you see where his attorney tried to remove himself and the judge wouldn't allow it?
Oh, yeah, at the very end.
Yeah.
That was weird.
When he said that because he changed his story at his trial and said he actually didn't do it, his brother did.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they went on like a recess for lunch. No, they went on a recess for lunch and came back after the lunch break. The attorney was like, hey, I'm out. And the judge was like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
What?
I'm glad I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, I wish I was.
That's how we differ.
Okay, so again, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok,
subscribe to YouTube. We're going to be posting a lot of stuff on there about really over the next few weeks and hopefully moving forward after that because we're setting up this whole new recording space. It's going to be really fun. Mm-hmm. We're going to go shopping.
Better audio.
Yeah.
More aesthetically pleasing.
We might actually have to look cute. Like,
we do look cute every time.
Yeah. We're naturally beautiful.
Beautiful and smart and educated and wonderful. And
our IQs are super high.
Maybe.
But yeah, we're also going to be posting different like polls and asking questions because we just want to know what you guys think and what your thoughts are on certain things because we are very similar but also very different, and I think we both appreciate that's fun.
Yeah,
but fun. Yeah, make sure you follow us on all the stuff.
Yeah,
and then next week, what are we doing?
It's a serial killer of Tennessee, of course. Tennessee, always do Tennessee. But his name is Michael Cummins, and he killed 8 people. Yeah. And it's very odd because
there's no rhyme or reason to the victims.
Exactly. Different races, ages, genders,
backgrounds.
Like, it's a weird one.
Yeah, the fact that they could even get a connection here.
I know, it was wild.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to cover that one. So that one's going to be good.
But that's next week. Yeah. Go to social media. Love us. If you're going to be an asshole, be a fine one.
Be a fine.
Don't do math.
And don't murder people. This is the Expired Podcast.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. You can find us on YouTube every Monday. Click that subscribe button, and you can download our podcast wherever you get yours. Thanks for listening to the Expired Podcast.